Some things are built to last. Tested by the elements, proven by time, engineered for whatever comes next. Summertown Metals. Strength in every storm. Building dreams that last.
From the Tennessee Valley Weather Channel, this is your weather at noon.
Good afternoon, everybody. Taylor Plott here in the Tennessee Valley Weather Center with a check on your latest forecast. Showers and storms already popping up across the area. I'll have a look at that radar here very shortly. Our main focus, though, is what happens late tonight. We're talking about the overnight hours going into tomorrow morning. We will see a round of showers and storms move on through, some of which could be on the strong, even severe side. I'll break that down. And then, of course, we're talking about the heat over the weekend. So let's get right into your forecast. First off, a live look from our Arctic Air Skycam network as we hit midday here on this beautiful Wednesday. Kind of a mix of sun and clouds out there. We had a lot of low-level stratus clouds that really hung on for the majority of the morning today. So not only has that kind of created what we call a little thermal kind of boundary across the area where these showers and storms are developing, but it's also helped, I think, keep our high temperatures from getting up to the upper 80s today for the most part. I think we're kind of in the mid 80s today. But as you see here, clouds are starting to break across northern Alabama. Seeing some blue sky here on the Florence camera, even a little bit down here in Cherokee. Still holding on to a lot of cloud cover here across parts of southern Tennessee. Closer look here in Lawrenceburg, 79 degrees, southwest wind at 10 miles per hour, 73-degree dew point. So again, another very muggy day out there. Down across the state line here in northern Alabama on the campus of the University of North Alabama, 82 now with the southwest wind at 4 miles per hour. If you see some of those breaks in the clouds, you see obviously the temperature at 82 here. That's going to be your area where you might end up getting into the mid, maybe flirting with upper 80s today, as you see here across the board. Most places are at least at 80 degrees right now. Lawrenceburg, again, still holding on to 79, 77 in Humboldt, 79 in Columbia. But you see, we are starting to warm up as we get those cloud breaks around, and that's allowed for some of those showers and storms to develop across the areas you see here on our live Viper network. Actually, a pretty good amount of coverage here, stretching all the way from about Winchester, Tennessee, down towards the Park City area in Lincoln County, down across the Harvest area in Madison County, and then back down towards the southwest, towards Moulton and the Double Springs area down there in Winston County. Right now, it looks like this is kind of where the majority of the shower and occasional storm activity is going to be, at least over the next couple of hours. Again, I'm not expecting widespread showers and storms like what we've been seeing for the past couple of days. I think kind of we're still holding on to around that 30% chance of showers and storms as we head throughout the remainder of the afternoon and evening. So again, we do expect some, but I at least think the coverage of it shouldn't be completely widespread. I think the best coverage will still end up being across parts of northern Alabama like you're seeing right now. Temperature-wise, like I mentioned, generally getting to the middle 80s today. If you see a bit more sunshine, you might end up flirting with the upper 80s as you see here. Florence could be right around 88 degrees today, 87 in Columbia, 85 here in Lawrenceburg. Everybody, again, having that chance for showers and storms this afternoon. More mid-80s expected all across the board here in southern Tennessee. Across northern Alabama, more mid-80s expected again. Like I mentioned, maybe flirting with some upper 80s in some areas. Evening forecast, the early evening hours, I think you're good to go. Any shower and storm threat should remain on the isolated side, so that's why we're keeping kind of that 20% for 6 p.m. and 8 p.m. So if you have any of those evening plans, we're going to be home roughly around 8, 9 o'clock tonight. I think you're going to be good to go. I would keep that umbrella handy in the car just in case you need it, though. Temperature-wise, dropping down into the 70s. Notice those winds still coming out of the south-southwest at 6 miles per hour. They'll start to bump up just a little bit as we go into your overnight hours, as we get that line of storms coming on through. Get to that here very shortly. Low temperatures tonight generally in the lower and middle 70s. And then once we get into your afternoon hours tomorrow, depending on how all the rain and storm activity blows on through and how much cloud cover we have behind it, that will determine our highs. I think overall we're kind of expecting mid 80s for highs tomorrow. All right, let's get into that storm risk. We still have, this is actually brand new updated from the Storm Prediction Center, so this is not lagging at all. This is right now. We still have a level 1 out of 5 for areas from Lincoln County down towards the Athens area, down towards Russellville, and then northwest of that, we do have that level 2 out of 5. That's getting close to our area, not really clipping a good portion of our area yet, but we have a better shot at severe weather off to our north. They actually have an enhanced risk in parts of Illinois and Indiana today. That's where the best severe weather threat will be today. Now, what we're watching, again, timing-wise, is overnight tonight into early tomorrow morning, roughly around 2 a.m. as a start time window and ending anywhere from about 8, 9, maybe 10 a.m. in your morning hours on your Thursday. Your threats break down like this. Our main concern is going to be maybe some isolated damaging winds around 60 miles per hour. I think a lot of it stays below severe limits, but with all the rain activity that we've had, a 40 or 50 mile an hour gust could knock a tree down, so just keep that in mind. We are going to watch for an outside kind of low end chance at a brief tornado. There is enough low level wind shear in place tonight that we will have to watch any storm or any part of that line that tries to rotate a little bit. So cannot completely rule out a brief tornado tonight. I'm not expecting big tornado problems, but I think there's enough low level wind shear that we'll have to have a close eye, keep a close eye on the radar for any rotation areas. And then hail, really not looking at a lot of hail potential with this, maybe some quarter size at best, and then really not looking at a lot of flooding problems with this other than just some street flooding potential. All right, I'm going to jump ahead here to 11 p.m. because I will say the models are not doing a great job at all with the activity that's going on right now. So just know throughout the remainder of the afternoon and evening, passing shower and storm is definitely possible. So let's fast forward here to 11 p.m. tonight, still watching storms off to our northwest. They start to creep into our area roughly around that 2 a.m. time frame. I would say give or take an hour on this. It could be 1 a.m., could be 3 a.m., but roughly around that 2 a.m. time frame, starting to see those showers and storms move on through. And again, we'll watch any one of these that end up maybe getting a little bit on the stronger side, maybe borderline severe, if not severe. Again, damaging winds are the primary concern with this. So that moves on through. I think this is kind of I don't think this is completely correct. I think most of this actually is just one solid line. I don't think it's broken like this. So I honestly think that this ends up being down here, maybe about 6 a.m., but still watching those showers and storms move on through. That continues to be the case around 8 a.m. potentially. And then I really think by the time we get to the noon hour tomorrow, most, if not all of that shower and storm activity is off to our south, and we just are stuck with some cloud cover. And again, that's why we're not really expecting highs to get up into the upper 80s tomorrow. But when we see some breaks in the clouds later on in the day, that will allow a little more heating to take place, and we'll probably have some more showers and storms developing. I don't think they're overly widespread. I think that's kind of just scattered right here, but I do expect at least another round of showers and storms moving on through. I do not anticipate those being severe. And then once we get into your Friday morning, looking absolutely fantastic. Abundant sunshine to start the day off, maybe just a few passing clouds, and then we're looking at a pretty good stretch of weather for once. Rain chances of the next 7 days, again, that's going to be that 70% primarily before noon. Once you get afternoon, it's roughly around 40, maybe 50% at best. And then, like I said, we're kind of looking at a nice stretch of weather for once. Hadn't really seen this on the board for a very long time. Just low end rain chances as we get into your weekend and early next week. Unfortunately, that means the heat gets turned on. Big dome of high pressure is going to be situated across our region as we get into Friday and the weekend. So that's going to rise our temperatures back up into the 90s. So here's your weekend forecast. 92 on Saturday, 93 on Sunday. Cannot completely rule out a stray shower or rumble of thunder both days. I think most places are going to end up being dry. So it's going to be a good weekend to get out and enjoy maybe the lake or the river or hang out by the pool. If you go play some golf, I'm thinking about playing some golf. It's going to be a hot one, so make sure you actually stay hydrated out there. Here's the 7-day forecast. Again, watching those showers and storms overnight tonight into early tomorrow morning for a strong and severe risk. I don't think it's going to be big time severe, but just something we'll keep an eye on. And of course, with it being an overnight threat, have ways to get warnings in case they're needed, and we'll be here tracking things throughout the entirety of the event. As we get into Friday, Saturday, Sunday, like I mentioned, mostly dry. Spotty shower can't completely be ruled out. Otherwise, just looking at mostly sunny skies and hot temperatures getting up into the middle 90s. Heat index values really Saturday, Sunday, and into early next week, roughly around 100 to maybe 105 out there. So that's why we say take those heat precautions, because it is going to be a hot one. That's your latest 7-day forecast here from the Tennessee Valley Weather Center. Fred Gossage will be in at 5 p.m. to have another check on your forecast. Until then, I hope everybody has a fantastic Wednesday afternoon.
You're watching